And we're back, man. It's been a long time since I made a video. I've been under the weather for like the last 2 weeks. So that's why. But the Denver Nuggets get it done and win their first NBA championship. So the year is completely over. Basketball season is officially done. I'm just here to talk to you guys about this finals. You can see I'm wearing the 2023 Miami Heat NBA Finals hat because I'm a Miami Heat fan. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets and what this means. The Denver Nuggets chose patience. The Denver Nuggets built their team through the draft, right? Obviously, they got some auxiliary parts such as Bruce Brown. Jeff Green gave you some really good minutes. KCP, that trade worked out amazingly for them. And they did a fantastic job in trusting. I know there was a point earlier in this postseason where Jamal Murray got hurt, and when he got hurt, he tore his ACL. He told Mike Malone, you guys are probably going to trade me. You're finished good. I'm finished goods. Like, they get rid of me. And Mike Malone told them no. There's points where they wanted to trade Jamal Murray for a prominent small forward. He told a front office, no, don't do it. This should be a lesson for all the teams. And with the new CBA, they're not going to really be able to do this, but build a solid core. Both of these teams is all about just building a solid core and trusting into your people. So that's one thing I loved about this finals, because even though people will say it wasn't a superstar studded one, really only had one superstar in my opinion, which was Jokic. In this finals, even as a Heat fan, I think Jimmy Butler is on the cusp of a superstar. He's like the perfect in between superstar and star, high level star, low level superstar, in my opinion. But yeah, they get it done. They win the NBA championship, the first NBA championship in 2023. Sorry, in their history. So shout out to them. I want to talk about, like, again, trusting in your guys, trusting in your unit, believing that you have what it have. Will you have what you have what it takes to win? You have that. Obviously, you got Aaron Gordon, who I'll get into later, who is spectacular, was an elite defender for this postseason run. This postseason run, he was an elite defender. What he did to Jimmy Butler, a lot of people don't want to real, and Jimmy's not going to use this excuse. We all know Jimmy, after the New York Knicks, after that first game, he was not the same. Playing on the bum ankle every other night is no way for it to properly heal. His injury, he probably should have been sitting out 2 to 3 weeks. You know, you injure it, you're injuring it. But he played impeccable defense on whoever it was. And that was a great thing. And they have him on the Cavs. The Denver Nuggets should, in my opinion, win another title within the next 3 to 4 years. I expect them to win at least 3 titles within the next 6 years, barring any injuries, barring anything crazy happening. The Denver Nuggets probably didn't think that Aaron Gordon would be their third best player, but he was their third best player this postseason. MPJ had moments. He came up big last night, but I expect him to get better. But Aaron Gordon, and there's more important, Jamal Murray, man. Most teams would have traded a Jamal Murray, got him off the books, got rid of him, sell him while he high. And the run that he went on, even though he didn't have a great game 5, he didn't have a great game 5, didn't matter. He came to play for the entire series. I believe he averaged 10 assists in the first 4 games. I don't know if he got 10 assists last night. I'll go ahead and check that right now. Um, so Jamal Murray last night, he had he had 8 assists. So amazing assists. That's almost 9 assists a game. Something that we didn't see in his game, and he showed that he was versatile. Like, if I'm not going to be a scorer, I'm going to be a passer. Clearly, some of Jokic rubbed off on him. I apologize about that cough. That was disgusting. So, I'm still getting over this cough. But yeah, what I saw from Jamal Murray, what I saw from Jokic, I'm going to get in Jokic because that's going to be totally different. Um, but this was an amazing run by the Denver Nuggets. It was fantastic. It was amazing. I loved everything that I saw about it. Yeah, defensive prowess. And Jokic wasn't a huge defensive liability. He really didn't get to pay anybody that could make him a huge defensive liability, and that's key. When it's time for you to be a defensive liability, you be a defensive liability. When you shouldn't be, you're not. And they did a great job. He did a great job defensively, rim protection, even without blocking, just being a body, putting hands up, without fouling, not getting in foul trouble. I think the Miami Heat made a lot of mistakes, especially towards I don't think in game 2 when they won, they didn't double Joker as much and they didn't switch as much as they were. And I think after game 2, they did a lot of switching, which led to a lot of double teaming. Like yesterday, in the thick of the game, Jamal Murray's not having a good shooting night. So if I'm Caleb Martin, I'm living with him going under the screen and fighting over top to get back, or Bam showing a little bit. I'm not okay with Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent switching on to. Not okay. I'm not okay with Caleb Martin switching on the Jokic. And then we don't double team. There's a point yesterday where I think Bruce Brown brought the ball up late in the game. They gave it to Jokic. Jokic had Caleb Martin on him. And then on the side, they have Bruce Brown. In the low post, they have Bruce Brown and Aaron Gordon. And there's Jimmy and Bam there. And neither of them double team. I'm okay with Bam going over there because not Bam. Jimmy should at least went over there. So Bam can at least, if they try to do a little throw up pass to Aaron Gordon like they were doing all series, he could stop that. But they just let Jokic play one-on-one on the guard. I don't do that. I want Jokic play one-on-one on the center, a big man. But it's something that he will have to address. He will have to address not having a 6'5" power forward, 6'7" power forward. When your center is 6'9", and I love Kevin Love, he gave us some really good spark, but you need a young, energetic guy at the 5 that could come in and give you meaningful minutes, or a young, energetic guy at the center, backup center, to come and give you meaningful minutes. Cody Zeller played at 61 seconds yesterday, and he was at -5. Every minute that Cody Zeller played in the finals was a negative. I couldn't get for the life of me why he wasn't matching Bam and Jokic minutes. That's just a mishap by Eric Spoelstra. Just to go to the Heat, Jimmy Butler is clearly hurt. He won't ever admit it. At least I'm hoping he was hurt, because the Jimmy that I saw these last 10 games was not impressive, and he really tried to turn up at the end of 3 minutes a lot of time. That turnover that he had was very egregious. Again, Jimmy has to work on one thing: is how to finish over length. Him and Bam, the majority of this team, they have to learn how to finish over length. That's all their drills should be this summer, because they're not comfortable as a unit finishing over length. And when you're considerably smaller than everybody else, you're going to have to get comfortable with that. Bam showed his jump shot ability. That was good. I want him to be more aggressive going to the rack and showing the ability to finish over length a little bit more. But I saw some from people talking how Bam is inconsistent. He was the best player for the Miami Heat this finals. There's no doubt about it. I don't know what this Miami Heat team's going to look like next year. I'll make a full video about that. But Gabe Vincent, even though Gabe Vincent, Max Hughes, and Caleb Martin might have hurt their chances of getting some more money with their finals performances, clearly I think Gabe got hurt because after game 2, there was this totally different Gabe. But the Nuggets did play better defense. They didn't leave the shooters as open as they were in games 1 and 2. They were more aggressive, fighting off the dribble. Duncan Robinson really impressed me this playoff run. So what does this mean for him? What does this mean for Tyler Hero, Max Strus? Those 3 guys, they're all with each other. So you eventually have to get rid of one of them. And I think it's going to be Max. That's probably going to be the one that goes. And unfortunately, he's the better defensive one of all of them. That's why he was starting. But yeah, I'll get further into the Miami Heat later on. But Jamal Murray and Jokic win this finals, and now they have a chance to work their way up to be one of the greatest duos of all time, which I think they could win another 2 championships within the next 5 years. That'll make them win 3 out of 6, and now put them in conversations with the Kobe's and Shaqs, the Parker and Duncans. And I wouldn't be remiss with talking about Nikolai Jokic having the greatest postseason statistical run ever. First person ever to lead the playoffs in points, assists, and rebounds. Something we thought Braun would do. No, Jokic did that. He was the ultimate offensive machine. He has completely solidified himself in the top 10 bigs of all time. He is the best player in the league. And it's watching this playoffs makes it a shame what Kendrick Perkins and everybody did to give Joel Embiid an MVP. And I said Joel Embiid was MVP as well. And it was more of maybe I had voter fatigue. Because I don't think, in my opinion, Joker should have won it this year. But I don't think he should have won it last year. So that's the difference. I think he was the number one seed, and everybody's like, he got all his people back. But Joker is officially the best player in the league, and I think he wins MVP next year. This was a great season for the Bucks. I know people are going to talk about the ratings being low for this finals and 4-1. Hey, man, sometimes it happens. The Miami Heat just didn't have enough personnel. They had the best personnel. But all the Boston Celtics fans, all the people saying that the Boston Celtics lost ruining the finals. This Boston Celtics team was down to the Miami Heat down 3-0. And they pushed it to the game 7, which Miami should never did. The Miami Heat downfall was making Boston push it to game 7. They were supposed to sweep Boston. If they sweep Boston, and Miami Heat sweep Boston, Jimmy has 10 days to rest that ankle. They didn't take advantage of that, and they ended up burning them in the end. Even though I think Nuggets still don't won. Even though I picked the Heat in 7. But that was just me being a homer. But I always knew the Nuggets were a better team. Before I go in any further, man, again, shout out to Denver Nuggets. Shout out to Aaron Gordon. Really happy to see him. This is nice when you see a lottery pick, a top 5 pick, don't pan out in his role, moves to a different team and embraces a different role and completely thrives in it. There was conversation that Aaron Gordon arguably could have been an all-star this year. So to see somebody completely thrive in a new role, take on that challenge, take on the acceptance, and to teach you like everybody coming to high school, college, they're all ballers. But the NBA is a different level, and you got to learn to adjust and move into your role. So I'm happy for Aaron Gordon. I'm happy for Jokic. He went from being the guy that got picked during the Taco Bell commercial during the NBA draft to being the best player in the league, the best second-round pick of all time, and also being a top 10 center of all time. So shout out to Jokic. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. This is well-deserved. Give them their flowers. Jokic has had the greatest statistical playoff run ever and solidifies himself as a top 10 big. One more finals, one more MVP, and he's in the top 5 for me of bigs of all time, and that's hard to crack. So, again, shout out to Denver Nuggets, Miami Heat, hell of a season. I'm going to make a full video about Miami Heat, what we need to do, when we made mistakes. But, again, hell of a season. Tip my hat to the Nuggets, tip my hat to the Heat. Till next time, my name's Wade, and I'll catch you guys later.